Hi everyone. Welcome. I'm sorry for not posting in such a long time. I have a few big projects due by the end of this month, so I've been quite busy working on those, but I'll be able to work on the stories more after mid-December, so please stay tuned. Anyways, here's part 6 to the If They Hadn't Met Tsukkiyama series. I hope you enjoy. 3 weeks have passed since the Karasuno vs. Seiju practice game, and what has happened throughout these 3 weeks had been a series of unexpected events. Everyone had been surprised to see the antisocial Tsukushima actually having lunch with someone, that someone of course being Yamaguchi, but as the days passed the sensation of Tsukushima's lunch escapades had died down and are now normal. Except for today. The 4th week since the game has already started and it was now lunchtime on Monday. Yamaguchi shyly and awkwardly stood outside the gym as he waited for Tsukushima to come back with his bento. He had accidentally left it there during morning practice. As he waited there, Hinata and Kageyama were passing by and spotted him. "Hi Yamaguchi." Ni. Yamaguchi was glad to see someone he knew. He felt very awkward from just standing there alone. "Hey guys. What are you doing outside the gym? Oh. Are you joining the volleyball club?" Hinata asked excitedly. "Oh haha, no. I'm just waiting for Tatsuki to get his bento so we can have lunch." Wait, Tatsuki. Oh, I meant Tsukushima, it just slipped, haha. Yamaguchi stiffly responded, blushing a little. Okay, why? Hinata and Kageyama stared at Yamaguchi, not knowing how to react. They were somewhat surprised that Yamaguchi and Tsukushima had gotten so close as to give each other nicknames. Just in that moment when Hinata was about to ask more about it, Tsukushima walked out the gym with his bento. "Yams Yamaguchi, I'm ready, let's go." He changed the nickname as soon as he noticed the 2 other first years there. "Well, we gotta go now, bye guys." "Bye. See ya." Hinata and Kageyama started at their retrieving backs, confused by the situation that had just happened. The week had gone by in a flash. Throughout the whole week, just like the previous weeks, Yamaguchi and Tsukushima hung out any time they could. They had lunch together and sometimes they talked before volleyball practice started. Who would have thought that they would have gotten this close? They even have nicknames. Their chemistry was so high that they clicked right away, ever since they first met, and their compatibility was confirmed during their first time having lunch together. You could even say they became best friends. But of course fate had something else planned for them. It was now Friday night and Yamaguchi was not feeling well. Actually, he's been feeling like this for a few days now, and today the feeling was worse than ever. He was feeling dread and pain, not sure whether that was from being scared or from the feeling of betrayal, but it sure did hurt him. He tried calling once again, assuring himself that the person will answer after 5 missed calls, but it didn't happen. Once again he was sent to voicemail. Dread engulfed him and he collapsed on his bed. "Reki. Langa. Someone please." Yamaguchi sobbed as he brought his hands to his face, laying in bed, his legs as close to his chest as possible. The reason for his painful cries were his best friends, or at least he thought they were his best friends, but the way they had distanced themselves from each other and him really made him doubt everything. They used to talk and hang out all the time, skateboarding after school, hanging out in between classes and more, but for the past week or so, they have been talking less, even hanging out less, and he did try to get them to hang out together or to cheer them up, but only excuses were thrown at his face. Eventually the thing he feared the most happened. They all stopped talking to each other, and they won't answer his calls. Yamaguchi has no idea what has happened or what it's going on, but he just wants everything to go back to the way things were. Yamaguchi knows something happened in between them, but the thing that hurts him the most it's that they won't talk to him about it, they haven't told him anything at all and now he was also suffering because of it, without even knowing what's going on. Even though he had met Lenga not that long ago, Yamaguchi still considered him his close friend, and Reki and him have been friends since middle school. Actually, he was the whole reason as to why Yamaguchi is the way he is today. After moving and changing schools, starting in a new place wasn't easy, especially with new people in a new grade. This was a scary time for him. Yamaguchi didn't want to be bullied again, he didn't think he would be able to keep going if the bullying started again, it would have been too much for him. Thankfully, Reki appeared with a halo and wings, and showed him how to skate. He taught him all about skateboarding and even brought him to S, and like that they became best friends. Yamaguchi was able to experience friendship and true happiness thanks to Reki, so he sees Reki as one of the most important people in his life. That's probably why Yamaguchi let out a silent but painful sob when Reki didn't answer the phone again, for the 7th time. Yamaguchi felt lost, he didn't know what to do. Was he going to lose his friends forever? Will he be alone again? Were they going to hate him now? They already hate him. Probably, a voice deep down in his brain said. And no. He sobbed again, crying his heart out, his breathing unbalanced and ragged. He really had no idea what to do until something in him made him reach out to his phone, and with shaky hands he dialed a number. His last hope. The first ring sounded out, and the second ring felt a lot longer than the seconds that it actually was, and finally on the third ring someone picked up. Hello. Hearing Tsukishima's voice, Yamaguchi let out a cry, glad that he actually picked up. Yams. Are you crying? What's wrong? Tsukishima sounded genuinely concerned and that made Yamaguchi cry even harder. Every time he tried to speak a sob would come out instead. Hey, it's okay, you don't have to speak. Tsukishima spoke in the most gentle voice he could muster. He was really worried about Yamaguchi. Just send me your location, I'll be right there. But it's 1 a.m., Yamaguchi wanted to protest but he didn't have it in him to reject his offer, he really needed someone with him right now. K. Yamaguchi replied with a small voice, trying not to let out a sob instead. By the time Tsukishima had arrived in front of Yamaguchi's house around 20 minutes had passed. I'm here Yams, please open your door. Tsukishima sent him a text message. Seeing his phone vibrate and light up in the dark, Yamaguchi took his phone seeing Tsukishima's message. Yamaguchi stood up from his bed and hurried to the front door, hesitantly opening it. He was kind of scared that Tsukishima would not be there, that he was just imagining everything. Thankfully, as Yamaguchi opened the door, there stood a somewhat sweaty Tsukishima. One would have guessed that he ran here if it wasn't for the bike he dropped on the front yard. Even so, making a 30-minute ride into a 20-minute ride is no small feat. Yams. He gave a kind and sweet smile to Yamaguchi, a rare sight for the regular person but a familiar one for Yamaguchi. Tsuki. Seeing Tsukishima actually in front of him made Yamaguchi start crying again. As soon as Yamaguchi started to cry again, Tsukishima took a step forward and hugged him. He closed the door, bringing him inside while Yam sobbed in his arms. After a few minutes of crying, Yamaguchi calmed down enough to direct them to his room, pulling Tsukishima by his arm as he made his way to his bedroom. Oh, let's sit. Okay. They both sat on the edge of the bed. Silence filled the room. Sorry for calling you here so late. Yams. And for the whole waterworks show. He quickly apologized, looking down while playing with his hands. Hey. You can leave if you want, I'm okay. His rambling was stopped by the voice calling his name. Yamaguchi. Please look at me. Yamaguchi slowly lifted his head, looking at Tsukishima. And please don't lie to me. It's fine if you don't want to talk about it, but please don't lie to me saying you're okay when clearly you're not. You can be truthful when you're with me. I can lend you a shoulder to cry on when you need one, and an ear when you want someone to listen to you, and if you only want someone to be with you, then I'll be there. Please know that you can rely on me at any time. I'm just happy that I can help you. Tsukushima said in the most gentle and sincere way he could possibly muster. Thanks. Overwhelmed by all the emotions he was feeling, Yamaguchi started to cry again, but this time he leaned towards Tsukushima, initiating the hug. Tsukushima was happy that Yamaguchi could rely on him, so he held him as Yamaguchi cried on his shoulders, eventually tiring himself out and falling asleep in Tsukushima's arms. A little extra scene for y'all. Tsukushima took Yamaguchi in his arms and gently placed him on his bed, covering him with the blanket. He sat on the floor and couldn't stop himself from observing Yamaguchi's face. His eyes and cheeks were swollen from all the crying, but even so, Tsukushima still thought he looked cute. He looked at his long eyelashes, and his freckles. He observed every detail of his face. Tsukushima has no idea for how long he was staring, because next thing he knew he was opening his eyes and he was the one being stared at, by a set of cute but swollen eyes. As soon as Yamaguchi realized he got caught staring, he quickly looked away, blushing. Desperate to divert the attention from his previous staring, he greeted Tsukushima. Morning. Good morning. Why did you sleep on the floor? Yamaguchi wondered why he was sleeping on such an uncomfortable position. There was enough spaces to sleep more comfortably, like the couch and other places. Sorry, I didn't mean to stay over without your permission, I kind of just fell asleep. That's okay. I don't really mind, I was just thinking that sleeping on the floor must have been uncomfortable. It's fine, it was just one night anyways. How are you feeling today? I'm much better. Thanks for coming so late at night. Oh, it's kinda embarrassing that you saw me in that messy state, haha. Yamaguchi felt somewhat embarrassed to have cried so much in front of Tsukushima. It was the first time he cried that much in front of anyone. Hey, don't worry about it, I'm just glad that I was able to help you. Tsukushima once again smiled at Yamaguchi. He felt good knowing that he was someone Yamaguchi could rely on. Also, are your parents here? Oh no, they're out for a business trip this weekend. Okay, good. I don't know how I would have explained why and how I was here. They both laughed at Tsukushima's comment. It would have definitely been quite a hard situation to explain. Thankfully, it was just the two of them in the house. That's all for now. Once again, I'm sorry for not updating for so long. I added an extra scene as an apology. I hope you like it. Also, since I won't be able to update until mid-December, should I do a small 6.5 part with Tsukushima's family in between now and mid-December, or would you rather just wait for part 7 to update once I'm done with it? Of course I'll still be updating part 7, but I know it'll take quite long, so I just wanted to know if you wanted a part 6.5 while you waited for part 7. Please let me know. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. I hope you see you all next time.
Later, okay?